Cherry Blossom, welcome. Ted, good morning. Mark, Bill, Patrick, how are you guys doing? Right, let me look at my orders, pre-market. So Target announced earnings. They're up pre-market, so I need to put an order to close. Orders. Okay. All good. Let's see. Get that. Okay, just look at this. All right, let's start. Welcome to Tradespoon and Yellow Tunnel. My name is Vlad Karpel. I'm CEO and founder of both companies, and today we're going to have a live trading room open to trade stock and options using our technology. For those of you who are new, welcome. If this is your first live event, do me a favor, type in first. Always want to welcome new subscribers. Everyone else, welcome back. Disclosures are very important. Please read them. Trading stock and options involve risk, not suitable for everyone. You must be aware of the risk and be willing to accept it in order to invest in current market conditions. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not registered with FINRA nor SEC. I'm showing you what I do for past performance. All right, very important to have a trading plan. I encourage everybody to keep a journal, write down every single trade, and before you actually get into the trade, have a checklist. My checklist is number of positions. I propose not to have more than 4 positions if you're new to trading or new to Tradespoon or Yellow Tunnel, and look at what is the maximum size risk you're taking on a position based on the stop level. So again, on the $10,250. If you at any given point, if position was down more than $250, then you would give yourself C or D as a grade. If it was never down more than $250, then you would give yourself A or B, right? And the goal is to have A and B. I think the third one is the most important, is just to write down how much equity you trade in. So let's say you have a $10,000 account, you never trade more than $2,000, right? Or contracts, and it should be the same equity amount, right? You can't trade one contract of NVIDIA and one contract of Ford because you have completely different exposure to both stocks. It doesn't matter if you trade in call, you long option, long vol or short vol, long options or short options. So those are at least the most important 3 rules that I would have as a checklist. I mean, liquidity is important, especially if you're doing, maybe you don't want to trade certain themes, right? You don't want to trade, meme stocks or something like that. But you have these checklists, and only then you put on a trade with target gain and stop losses, right? Negative visualization can help you determine the stop level. So let's look at that. Looking at the stock forecast toolbox. Give me 1 second. So in terms of support, 511 by 514, positive trend approaching 520 level. We discussed that yesterday. So that's neural network. Still positive trend, 511 by 514 is the support and resistance. Let's look at positioning. Last time I checked, pre-market futures were down. Let's see by how much. All right, so looking at the positioning, dealer exposure, spiders. So I'm looking at the contract size. So we have March 5th, 6th, so let's do March 15. So in terms of March 15, you do have a lot of open interest at 5. So that usually means people. So I agree with them here. Let's see this model. Neural network doesn't see a lot of momentum below 511 and 520, maybe even as high as 525. So that makes sense. So that's, I think, how the stock market is positioned right now. In terms of pre-market, what can derail the rally? Well, Powell speaks tomorrow, right? So Powell's speech tomorrow, ADP employment, right, and unemployment data on Friday. So that's, again, inflation data. If the inflation comes in higher than expected, maybe too many jobs are being created again, then that could spook the market. Or Powell is going to sound, that they're not lowering interest rates the first 6 months. That can also spark a pullback. Going into the event right now, yield continues to deteriorate. So 10-year yield is making new lows, and it is breaking the important 420-418 level, which is bullish for the market, basically anticipating that Powell is going to say, either Powell is going to say something positive, that he will lower interest rate, right? Or that unemployment data all of a sudden spikes up, which I don't think, why would unemployment rate go up now and not last month, right? So at least probably less likely. So it looks like everybody's anticipating a big rally in interest rate, right? That the interest rates will drop. Interest rates will drop and market will rally. And we have actually seen this in the interest-sensitive sectors like silver, right, and gold. I mean, gold, I think, made at the 20 strike. So we're at 22 strike, sorry. Large interest at 22 and 23. And that still remains the case. So pretty large, significant 22 and 23 interest. QQQ is also down 70 basis points. Spider's down 40 basis points. And let's watch the earnings, because I did put in that is, so I sold 177.5 call. Stock is about halfway there, traveled half of the distance. The option hasn't been traded yet, but I'll put a note to try to close for 10 cents. 20 cents. Target is up 167. So let's watch target. GitLab, let's see. And usually I would do 5-minute candlestick. In terms of, this is earnings strategy. In terms of short-term trading for watch, Baxter, Citigroup, NPC, and Disney. So let's look at target. Looks like it's pulling back. $166. So let's see, what is the option trading in? So it's still trading at 60 cents. I mean, one way to hedge is to buy a stock, at least a small. So we do have a stop loss at 166. We'll see if it makes a new high in 5 minutes. So it looks like target is continuing to go higher. All right, so let's buy maybe, I mean, it's still $7 away, so maybe delta 20. I mean, at the strike price is delta 50, so I would buy maybe 20 shares of target. So you do want to be delta neutral, right? Because I do have a 175, 177.5 strike. And I just got filled on silver, so out of 22. So target 177.5. So the idea is either the target is going to pull back, try to close the short call. You do have a stop level at 166, right below 166. I would get out of the trade. GitLab was also very strong rally, rebounded. let's see. Target is staying at 168. Okay, so 168. Let's look at target. Let's look at the market. Apple. So Apple is in free fall. Microsoft looks like started pulling back. Amazon as well. And Spider's down 0.5%. QQQ is down 1%. So 440. So let's see where how QQQ is positioned and how much room is there to the downside. So March, let's do March 8 and March 15. So looks like there's some support at 433 strike. So the next level is 433 in terms of support. And in terms of neural network, let's see, our model 433. Yeah, it just sees bullish trend, so it doesn't see a reversal. So let's look. QQQ is down 1%. So 433 is the next level on the QQQ. Hedging at the gap, and we are retesting this long-term uptrend. Right, we broke through it in end of February. We held in end of February, and now we're retesting it again. But it doesn't look like there's a lot of hedge until 433. So I would say if this level does not hold, 440, right? If the 440 does not hold, which what the model basically says that 440 will hold. So if it doesn't, then the next level would be the gap, right? So I would watch. This is the level 1, level 2, and then the gap, right? So those are your stop levels. For day trading, maybe support number 1. For a little bit longer term trading, support number 2, and then support number 3. In terms of QQQ positioning. All right, target. Let's see what's going on with target. Still holding on to most of its gains. Let's do the option loose. So option is trading at still at 70 cents. Still at 70 cents. Okay, guess we can wait. Any questions while we're watching? Let's just make sure that. So again, with the drop in interest rate, looks like gold miners and gold continues to outperform. So in terms of gold, next level is right, large position at 30, relatively large. I mean, it was silver was at 100,000 last week, but a lot of people took profits. Next silver, next level is. So silver, March 15. 20. There's still some at 23 strike for silver. All right. So Baxter is up 2%, Citigroup is up 79, 80 base. So still rotation into the value stocks. On Apple, they're selling Microsoft. Let's see, is Microsoft on any important support level? Well, it's now trying to close this gap. Microsoft. AT&T looks like rallied. Verizon is not. Hopefully we'll follow up. JP Morgan continues to rally. Japan. Talked about silver, GDX. Oil drillers, small cap are actually slightly down. Regional banks, so regional banks now doing it right away from technology into value stocks. So VTV is positive, QQQ is negative. Okay. Let's see, what did we have in profit accelerated that I wanted to potentially trade? Now that silver is out, NVOSH, silver, spiders, Wells Fargo. So let's see how's Wells Fargo doing. So I closed Wells Fargo. I think it pulled back again. Yeah, 639, 547 was a good buy. $55, so 3% stop loss. We'll wait. We'll see where Wells Fargo ends up. But maybe buying Wells Fargo again. Dexter, I think, is already not a lot of volume. All right. Let's see, GitLab. All right, let's see how the technology is doing. The sell-off is accelerating. Yeah, it looks like it's paused at the target. It's already been 28 minutes. All right, so I'm going to close. I'm going to close the $0.65. So I closed the short call, 65 cents, right? I think I did 40 cents. So I'm down on target. Now the stock, right? The stock, I'm up about 40 cents. Let's see what's the session high. So maybe it's breaking out. So let's see if I can capture maybe $1. Right, so that would be 170. So sell at once. Looks like it's trying to break out. Kind of try to recover some of the losses. Faust, good morning, Patrick. Good morning, Bob. Good. Citigroup is on the list. Ethereum gaining faster than Bitcoin on daily chart. Thank you. Yes, Bitcoin I think is still alive. Looks like the trade is alive. Let's see. All right, and target, let's see, doesn't look like it's still faces overhead resistance. Okay, so it got filled at 172.20. So I mean, down 20 cents, right? Down 20 or 14, 17 cents. Down 20 cents on the short call, and was able to capture almost $1 on long stock. So this is an example of how you would hedge the position, right? Because I mean, you can just close the short call. That's another way, or try to 165, and that could be the trade. Okay, so I'm out of target. Let's review Wells Fargo. For now, it's overbought. Let's see how's Disney look. How does Disney look? Disney after earnings. So you do have a pretty good stop level on Disney. Looks like it's breaking. I would be out. So 5%. It's a volatile stock. So if it drops $5, I want to be down less than. So maybe I can buy 20 shares, something like that, on a $10,000 account. Disney buying. So, and it looks like it's making a new marginal high. So same thing, I would maybe capture 0.5% on half of the shares. So yeah, maybe 114. Yeah. So 1%. So capture 1% on half of the shares and capture maybe 2% on the other half of the shares. Would monitor this trade. All right. Silver, I think I want to be out. I mean, 23. Or is the interest rates kind of, well, I guess they're breaking out, so I should wait. Yeah, it looks like yield did break below 200-day moving average. And I think all of it is going to depend tomorrow on Powell's speech. It's going to depend tomorrow on Powell's speech, right? If it's perceived as bullish, market rates will drop. If it's perceived as higher for longer, then rates will go up. Meanwhile, QQQ is down 1.25%, Spiders down 0.5%, small caps down 40 basis points. GDX continues to grind higher. Let me know if you guys have any questions. 8:55. Any questions? But Victor, how would you trade Bitcoin? Bitcoin. So NVIDIA looks like pausing. Bitcoin continues to rally. I would wait for a breakout. Right, we're basically retesting all-time high back to September of 21. So I would wait for maybe breakout above 70,000, right? Because this is a vertical move to the upside. Usually it ends with the vertical move to the downside. You just don't know where. So you need a stop level, right? I mean, you can go long right now, basically say that if we drop below this week low, right, below 63,000, then I would be out. But usually you wanted to have at least a breakout, confirmed breakout. Right now there's a big overhead resistance at all-time high. So you want to see if there is a breakout. Especially Bitcoin is still very highly correlated to high beta stocks, right? You have same moves in ARK innovation stocks, in small caps, in biotech stocks. So this is not I think this is just a proxy for risk taking. And right now the risk is on, right? Except the mega cap, so everybody's selling mega cap technology stocks and they are buying, everything else. Not everything else, but, value stocks, small caps, biotech, regional banks today. Let's see how GBTC is positioned. So I'm trying to look at GBTC and see if trade hawk is slow today. Sorry. So that's how I would trade. I would wait for a breakout, right? Especially going into the Powell speech, right? Powell has, haven't spoken for a while. So you want to be careful, right? He speaks on Wednesday, he speaks on Thursday, and then you have unemployment data on Friday and Tuesday CPI. In theory, before taking too much risk, Tuesday, Wednesday, right? Because we're going to have CPI and PPI data. Most bullish for the market. So if this anticipation is correct and you have a follow through next week and the rates will continue to drop to 3.8, well, that would be very bullish for the market, right? You can see small caps already turning positive. Regional banks are up 2%. So gold is up, silver is up. Okay. Good. Okay. Carol, I was looking yesterday. I was looking yesterday at T-Mobile, and then it was all positive, no negative. So usually when then is positive on out of the money puts and out of the money calls. Let's see, is it loading? That is the usual. Most of the stocks that don't have this a lot of exuberance, right? A lot of exuberance, they have basically positive VANA, right? So here, March, the green positive puts, positive calls, and the volatility, so vol Q is greater than 0.5. So that be Carol, if you open up an account, and can you give me your email so I can ask? Do you have TradeHawk? If you guys have TradeHawk account, just type in your email. I want to make sure that get credit. Okay, got it. Thank you, Carol. All right. So March 15 and April 19, the monthly expirations. So you do have negative VANA. Hedging was the March 15. Hedging is March 15. So usually that means that people are selling March 15 and buying April 19, right? Calendar spread, diagonal. In this case, they buy 175 call, but they're selling 165 call. And again, this is not one person. This could be just an aggregate. But looks like in terms of how people are positioning, there's a large open interest at 175 strike and then 165 strike at different months. And same thing with puts. They're selling 160 put, but they are hedging, but they are long 155. Thank you, Carol. Percentage beta. Let's look at beta. Thank you. Here's options. So it's trading at 31.43. So similar, right? This is very well. Actually, interesting in this case. A lot of selling of puts at 25 and 30 level. So there is a relatively large size of selling of 25 puts, selling 30 puts, but also selling the calls, 34 and 36. Basically, it was the idea that beta is not going to go much further than Well, here it's so that's what the beta looks like, 35. Let's see, 35. Makes sense, right? This would be all-time high, close to all-time high. So you can probably get to 35 beta. I mean, the beta gets to 35, I assume Bitcoin is also going to rally. But that would be the overhead resistance. And in terms of support, I mean, on the downside, it's 30 level, but this could act as a repellent, right? So 30, and then the next one is 25. So if there's a sharp pullback, you could get to 25 quickly. But looks like it's pretty well positioned. So I would put a stop level at 25, right? Maybe $5-6 to the downside and $4 or $5 to the upside, right? With the idea that this bullish momentum is going to continue on. $9:08. Let's see. Any questions on Discord? Go to webinar. I don't know if you guys have any questions. Okay. Bob, any questions? Ted, holding NVO. Okay, yeah, sorry, 9/11. We have 4 minutes to go over the positions. So NVO positioning, in terms of NVO, at 135. So that will act as overhead resistance. And there was what used to be support, 125 is now support, right? So let's look at NVO. So it looks like a clean breakout above 125, but now it's probably going to trade between 125 and 135. If 125 does not hold, I mean, there's not much support until 122, which is here. So personally, I would be a buyer at 120. Right? If it does drop to the strike 122, 119, that's where I think relatively people are better positioned. So I would be buyer at these levels. So that's NVO. Let's see. EWJ continues to grind higher. Right? So Japan still chugging along. New highs. Right? Looks like every week it's making new highs, including today. So I'm still long EWJ. Factory orders and ISM should be in. Okay. We are usually it's not a big factory ISM 9 o'clock. Okay. Level still lower, value still higher, interest rates, the 10-year move. This was what, 15 minutes ago? 15 minutes ago. I mean, follow through still continues to grind lower. Okay. Did it come in weaker than expected? Let me know if you know what the ISM data looks like. 52 versus 53. I mean, it's it's above 50. Right? As long as it's above 50, it's an expansion. Right? This is services PMI, so I don't think it's any big surprise. Okay. We talked about EWJ and VO. QQQ looks like started to pull back. March position is probably going to expire worthless unless we have a sharp pullback in the next couple of weeks. April looks better, right? April looks better. 430, 420 QQQ put spread. So I think at least one bearish position makes sense, right? So either QQQ put spread or QQQ or buying SH. So if bulls are unable to hold on to this uptrend again, right, then next level would be, well, the gap, right, the beginning of the gap. So 434. So 434 is your first support, right? And then if 434 doesn't hold, then 50-day moving average, the gap around 425. So that's QQQSH. Silver, still long silver. I did trim the position at 22 today. Let's see, how much do I have silver? I have a small position in silver left. Okay. We talked about target. So I'm out of target. TLT. So TLT looks like also correlated to interest rates and the short breakout. At least short term, it is grinding higher, right? It's above 50-day moving average. It's above 200-day moving average. It looks like yield wants to drop, continue to drop. Okay. So that's TLT. And then finally, Verizon and ExxonMobil. So looks like AT&T is trying to break out, right? Some pretty strong momentum in AT&T. Verizon, in theory, should follow. Usually it does. I mean, I have April and March. March, there's only a couple of weeks left, so we need to have that move. Again, sensitive to interest rates. So assuming there is a follow-through in interest rates, there is a pretty large demand for 42, 43 calls. So we've seen this in silver, we've seen it with gold, now we see it with Verizon. I think it's a binary trade, 43. You know, some people think at 46, right, by March 15th, so it's not that far. And if it's not, then you know, then at least March options will expire worthless. So we need kind of this push off of 50-day moving average. Okay. And ExxonMobil crude oil. So it's trying to break out, right? ExxonMobil is trying to stay above, take over 200-day moving average, right? Similar to crude oil. Crude oil is trying to break above 80 level. It briefly did that and we pulled back to 200-day moving average. So we'll see, right? If it's a false breakout or if it's gonna continue grinding higher. Meanwhile, again, I would be cautious, right? I don't think, right, this was the same kind of theme last year, that I don't think without mega cap was bound because, you know, over exaggerated reaction, or, you know, or the Apple and Tesla. Tesla is testing very important support, right? You have to go back to October of, well, not even October. Yeah, you have to go back to April of last year during the financial regional banks. Next level would be probably around 150. Google is trading probably below 200-day. Yeah, Google is below 200-day moving average. That's also bearish. Apple is in free fall. So today looks like all mega cap technology, right? So Apple is retesting October lows. I mean, oversold, probably a little bit overdone. How's the the other Magnificent Seven? So it looks like Microsoft, Netflix, and Amazon are also dropping today. So let's see if they're breaching any important levels. So Microsoft Well, it's approaching 50-day moving average. If this level doesn't hold on 50-day moving average, I think it's pretty well positioned around 400. Amazon just started pullback, so pretty far away. Netflix, I think, and Meta in a similar boat. They just started pullback, so just a short pullback. Okay, so looks like Magnificent Seven are trading lower. Small caps, mid caps are down 0.5%. People are still rotating to the value stocks, so this is not a kind of indiscriminate sell-off. That's all I have for today. Thank you very much. Have a great day. And today's Tuesday. I will see you at the closing bell. QQQ continues to make lows. Yeah, so QQQ has been at 1.5%, I think, for quite some time. Let's look. And looks like yeah, QQQ continues to grind lower, but you can see, yeah, so QQQ broke below this level, right? So the next level is what the position basically says, 434. So it's probably 434 is, you know, pretty well positioned, right? I don't think it's going to just fall through it unless there is some, you know, Powell says something negative. I mean, tomorrow Powell's speech, so people are worried, right? They're taking profits because he can say something bearish. Domain range, zoom out, range axis. Okay. So in terms of positioning, 425, right? 425 would be, did I do this right? March 15, April 19, yeah. So there's not much position until 425. And there's some at 430. Pretty small. I mean, there's some at 430, but mostly is 420. So 425. So 430, 425. I mean, 425 basically says, I mean, you could have a positive put buying, right? It's relatively small size. So if 435 doesn't hold, we will quickly close the gap at 422. I mean, and I think it's just going to be tomorrow, right? We're either going to have a rebound because Powell says, you know, we're going to lower interest rates in the first half of the year, or if he says no way, we're going to do it maybe second half of the year, then I think QQQ is going to drop pretty sharply. But you can see it's not an indiscriminate sell. I got out of these. I was able to capture about almost $1. So maybe 75 basis points, and it's a quick trade. Okay, so now next level is 115.10. So that would be an example of, again, either you can find these trades under active trader, right? Short-term trade ideas based on neural network, which I think works pretty well, or you can find them under aggressive power trader. Okay. Thank you. Sorry it took a little longer. Pause. Have a great day. Close half of the hedge. How much? Let's see. How much do I have? Should I close half? I only have one contract, I think. Oh, it's actually profitable. Yeah, our QQQ put spread is now profitable. Okay. Not by a lot. So. Okay. We will see. All right, thank you very much, and I'll see you at the closing bell. Thank you, everybody.